Cash Alternative TV. We're so glad you could make it today. I'm Tao.
I'm Amanda. We sure are glad, and we're glad to have our first guest today, aren't we, Tao?
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done the show, and it's been a while since we've had a guest. So I'm quite happy to introduce Jan Heinrich Meyer from Dash Embassy DACH. We're going to be talking all about Dash marketing today. Fun topic.
True that. And it's actually, Jan, you're our first guest. And yes, and what we want to hear from Jan today is basically we want to get a real peek inside of the marketing proposal that Jan put in, I think it was 2 treasury cycles ago. So as a refresher, Jan has been leading up a business development embassy in Europe for years now, but 2 treasury cycles ago, he put in a proposal to take a concept he'd been working on previously, in which he held regular meetings with the heads of various Dash-funded organizations to sync their business development efforts. And his proposal, as I understand it, Jan, I know you'll tell us more, this time round was to do the same thing, but for messaging and branding efforts. So I'm not going to say any more, and we'll turn it over to Jan.
Okay, so at first, thank you for the invitation. I wasn't aware that I'm the first guest you have on your show, so it's a pleasure to be here. And yes, the DCW-co-working proposal for marketing was kind of a spin-off of the Dash co-working we had for business development. And to be honest, it's not really about branding or messaging or something like that. It's more to create a platform where marketing-related proposals can collaborate with each other. From the beginning, it wasn't really clear what the result will be, maybe some new messaging or whatever. But the overall idea was to start communication, because I have the feeling that in a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, it's very important to overcome the hurdles of communication and collaboration. Because if we want to act like a company or one organization, I think that's the necessary step to take. Of course, I'm a big fan of decentralization, and I'm pretty happy that we have decentralized teams all around the globe. And communication, or communicating with each other, and collaboration doesn't mean to lose this decentralization. In the end, it's just to learn from each other's mistake, to help each other out, share some resources, documents we created, for example, are being used by Dash Core Group. Dash Core Group is sharing materials for business development with us, and CDIM, the developer at Dash Embassy, is helping out the guys from Dash Thailand / Dash Next for integration problems. So
Okay.
this was what we did in the business development, and now with the co-working proposal for marketing, I hope that we will take all this collaborative approach a step further. And yes, we had a first meeting. I think there already was an update from Mark Mason, who joined that meeting. Fernando, CMO of DCG, was around too, and Robert Vietzko to collaborate. It was a small group in the beginning, but I think it was a good step forward. And there are some notes out there, what we discussed during that meeting. I'm pretty sure that you will be able to put it in the show notes. I guess there's a public link. I can share it with you, and maybe then we can share it together with the public. And we discussed especially the way we want to work with each other, and the markets that we are focused on. So obviously I'm focused on the DACH region, which is Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and also a bit of Liechtenstein in Central Europe. And DCG is more focused on US and more about branches and pillars, and of course Latin America. And right now the status is that we will help each other out, give each other feedback on the strategy documents we are working on. And for now, this turned out pretty well, I think. So one last thing, and then I I hope, more or less covered the proposal. One achievement that's really fresh from this morning is that we will merge some Facebook accounts. So some of you might know that there is a Dash News Facebook account for Germany. Then DCG, back in the days, Tangfa created a Dash Germany account on Facebook. And of course, we have the Dash Embassy DACH Facebook account on Facebook. And in this morning, we decided, so Tankfer and Mark, that we will merge these accounts to one account, which might help to improve the user experience and visibility, and to create one touch point for the people in our region. I don't know if this will get adopted to other regions or markets, but for me, it's very helpful. Yeah.
Okay, so I have an initial question right off.
Yeah.
So, to my knowledge, the prior co-working efforts around business development, you all just executed on that and did that. So, why did you put up a proposal to do just more of the same, basically?
It's not really more of the same, because in the business development we were not working on one strategy. We were more or less updating each other, and one team said, "Yeah, we are focused on exchanges now." So DCG, for example, focused on exchanges, focused on integrating chain locks and instant send in exchanges, and we learned some stuff from them. But also, when we were in contact with an exchange, we gave those contact details over to DCG, and the embassy itself was focused more on payment service providers from the crypto space, and no one was really working on one goal, if you want to name it like this. So we were updating each other and benefiting from each other, and that was pretty cool. And the whole idea for the marketing stuff started when I realized that Worldline and Bitcoin Swiss. So Worldline, for those who don't know that company, is the biggest payment company in Europe. Bitcoin Swiss is a Swiss broker. They partnered to do a rollout for crypto payments beginning in Switzerland. So in this summer, Worldline controls round about 80% of the cashless payments in Switzerland, and yeah. When you realize that a company like this will offer crypto payments in future, then you get the feeling that business development might not be necessary in the way it was before. And because for me, this was such a huge task or opportunity, both together in one, I reached out to the other guys and said, hey, maybe we need to work on one marketing strategy. And of course, as I'm based in Europe, it's for first world problems, if you want to name it like that. Because I don't want to miss out on an opportunity like Worldline or Ingenico together with Salamantex. So they're doing basically the same in Austria, but Worldline just bought Ingenico, so it's one company now anyway. And because I thought that, or because I'm aware that something like that is happening in the US too during this year, I was wondering if it might make sense to discuss a marketing strategy together with other marketing related DFOs to speak from one voice, or speak with one voice, and have a messaging together. So this was the basic idea. Of course, first world is not necessarily be the strategy of DCG or other DFOs out there. But for me, it's really important that DCG gives some input and feedback on the strategy that I'm working on at the moment. And as there is no first world marketing strategy in Dash right now, for me it was important to get the teams together, and not by just updating each other about some stuff and benefiting from each other a bit, but by bringing all the brains in one room to create one strategy that maybe can be adopted from Europe to the US in future.
So what
So
is
we
that
go
strategy?
ahead.
The strategy right now is in work. So, as mentioned on the proposal, we are doing a lot of research right now. I can share the document with you if you like. So, the link is already available. Um, it should be possible to take a look at the proposal when you click on the link. It's a Google Doc. We can share it maybe in the show notes later on. And right now we are
Yep.
on page 25, and we are still doing competitor research. So this is a document that takes a look at the payment market, payment industry in general, about the movements in the payment market. Cash is king, but the additional developments, so the increase of percentages in payment when it comes to mobile payments, all stuff like that. Yeah, for e-commerce, for point of sale. We did a lot of research on remittance and for the European market, and not only in SEPA, so not only euro from, let's say, Germany to euro in Italy, but also for remittance corridors like Germany to Serbia, which is one of the biggest, or Germany to Turkey. We realized that it's not a lot cheaper if you do remittance using cryptocurrency. And for me, this was another moment where research was hurting my brain and a bit of my heart too, because I always thought, like I guess most of us in the crypto space, that crypto might be the best use case, or that remittance might be the best use case for Dash or cryptocurrencies in general. And in Europe, it turned out that it's probably not the case. There are some exceptions for this, because if you try to create a business utilizing Dash, especially Dash because of instant send, for remittances, and if you're able to improve the usability of crypto remittance, then it can be a business model. And we also figured out how much of the percentage you could earn with running a business like that. So maybe this is something that could be created for next year. I'm not sure. Or maybe in the business development, we need to reach out to remittance businesses. But all this would be more B2B related and not really B2C. And I have the strong feeling that Dash needs to make the move from a crypto project to a consumer brand. And we can't do that overnight, that's for sure. And I think before we do anything, we need to do enough research to make sure that we're not burning some money anywhere. Because in marketing, you always say, oh, 50% of the marketing budget is lost, it's burnt. The problem is that you don't know which 50%. And this is why we need to do
Mhm.
research. This is why we will utilize some digital marketing activities, even though I'm absolutely not a fan of tracking people to get to know their behavior. I don't really want that. Maybe we need to do that to create some personas, target groups, and so on. I hope that we will find another way, because this is exactly what I'm against, to be honest. So I'm not using Facebook and stuff like that. But if we want to grow as a brand in the crypto space, then I think this might be the necessary evil.
So what do you think about like doing, have you have different messages for different groups? So like you say, you have one message that you're going to be targeting towards businesses, another message that you'll be targeting towards consumers, and another message that you'll be targeting towards, like, say, third world countries that might need Dash a little bit more. Is this something that this marketing plan is going to cover as well? Or just you're going to be targeting basically businesses in first world countries?
No, it's not about businesses in first world countries. It's about consumers in the document I'm working on in the DACH region and other parts of Europe. And I think the framework that we are providing with this strategy and research document can easily be adopted to other regions too. You just need to change some numbers and then you will get different results than we are having right now, but you will get some results. So it's like we provide a framework that can be adopted to each region if there is a team who wants to use it, because there again is the A in the DAO, the autonomous. No one needs to use it or should be forced to use it, because some people might have another way, or are doing a good job out of the guts or whatever. But shit, I talked too long. I forgot your initial question, Tao. Please don't be bad.
That's fine. That's fine.
Guys, before you continue, could I just say, for whatever reason, Tao is quite loud for me, and comparatively, Jan is quiet for me. So I'm guessing that maybe it's the same for anyone listening. Tao, is it possible for you to turn your mic down, and or Jan, is it possible for you to turn your mic up?
I guess it might make sense if I try to turn mine up, because I can hear you both at the same.
Oh, you can. Okay, got it.
The arm is too short. Wait.
So if you're just joining us, we have Jan Heinrich Meyer from the Dash Embassy DACH. He's on Tao and Amanda Live. We're talking all about marketing strategy. And my question for you, Jan, was basically like, is this Dash marketing project going to be just targeting one group, or are you going to be trying to target different groups such as businesses, consumers, and third world countries?
Yeah, business development might be part of it, but we already did our research before for the business development strategy. And as mentioned before, I have the feeling that we can kind of scale down business development activities and increase marketing activities. And of course, we will have several target groups included in the strategy. So this can be people that are already owning Dash, but not using it, just hodling. And I have the feeling that we need to move from hodl to spendle, because if we want to become digital cash, then people need to use it. On the other hand, there are a lot of people in the crypto space who are not really familiar with Dash, and we need to find a way to convince them. And I know that this is exactly what everyone in the community is saying all the time. And this is why we're doing research to find out what could be the trigger. And only knowing about the trigger might not be enough, but then you already have the messaging. Then you need the right channel to address them, to bring that message out. And then, and this is most important, you really need to do that. So if we only stay in our groups and say, yeah, we have the greatest solution for scaling problems, for double spend issues, for 51% mining attacks, but if we don't tell people about that, then and maybe even maybe chain locks is not even interesting for people in the crypto space. So this is exactly what we will try to find out with some A/B testing, by playing out some banner advertisements, just to learn what will work. And when we find the right trigger, then we will get into a situation where we might need some money from the network to really utilize the strategy. Because having a strategy, there's value in it, but you need to get the power on the road. Everything else is just a waste of time.
How do you decide who joins these meetings? And do you have a team, or is it just whoever shows up, or how does that work?
So in the for the business development, we said that every long-term DFO, and we defined that with 3 months. So a team that is funded for at least 3 months can just join the group. That's it. So we want to make sure that that not a single person from the outside comes in and creates a lot of noise for 1 month or something and is gone after that. But this is what we decided on in the beginning. Like every concept, also the concept of Dash co-working is flexible, or it's a living concept. So if we feel that it might make sense to change something in those constitutions, we can simply change that. And who's also invited to those meetings are the trust protectors. and Michael Lewis showed up for some time. Mark Mason was around anyway because of the Dash News proposal that was up during the last year. But yeah, that's basically it. So we try to keep it open. But we have kind of a spam filter with this 3 months permission from the network that a DFO or proposal owner should have to join the group.
So I have a question about the decentralized efforts that Dash has. As you all know, Dash has a decentralized autonomous organization, which means that sometimes it has different people pulling in different directions. So yeah, my question to you is, how do you feel that the Dash marketing efforts are right now in this decentralized way? And what are your plans to make it a more cohesive vision and effort that everybody's pulling in the same direction?
Yeah. I have the feeling that it's decentralized right now. And I don't think that all the teams need to run in the same direction. Because if this would be the case, then and everybody would follow the activities of the embassy, then this would mean that everyone is focused on the first world, and that's a nightmare. And if all of us would follow the approach of Dash Venezuela or DCG or George Donnelly before, then we would all focus on emerging markets. And I think that's not the right way to go too, because in the current situation, and that's only my opinion, we don't really know in which market we will finally succeed. Because we have dollarization or eurozation in countries with hyperinflation. We have some, let's say, weird governments out there that might try to censor or block or illegalize crypto. And on the other hand, we have a market like Germany, where since the beginning of this year, of 2020, we have a new regulatory framework that already convinced BitGo, for example, to open an office in Germany. So we have a good regulatory framework, and some people might say that there is no need to pay with cryptocurrency in first world countries. I don't really agree, because yes, we have a working financial system, but this working financial system is also grabbing all your data, and so there might be a need for some people, or maybe it's just like a vision that you want to follow, because your mindset is that you're using maybe Linux, or don't or using the Brave browser, and maybe you don't want to know the payment companies outside, what kind of stuff you bought. So I installed the Google Pay app some days ago because during the research I need to take a look at stuff like that. And these guys are doing an awesome job, right? So they have a cool user experience, the same user interface that you're already used to because of Google Maps, and you can add your loyalty programs in there. You can pay with just a tap, and that's absolutely awesome. And now the crypto guys are coming and saying, "Hey, we have a clunky user experience, and the asset is volatile. You want to try it?" And I think the average Joe might not be the target group for that, but I think average Joe is not the target group for Dash in Venezuela too, because he might use a dollar instead of something that's again volatile and somehow threatening. And so we have different target groups in different markets. And so, long story short, I think it's good that we have or still have decentralization in marketing activities, in business development activities, and in strategy in general. I just think that it's important that we learn from each other. And for me, it's important that people or DFOs in similar markets create a strategy that can work for both or all of them. Because why should I create a messaging for the first world when DCG is working on a messaging for the US or something? It doesn't make any sense if that differs from each other. And then we just need to do the research one time, because no one wakes up and say, I have the right message for Dash. We are, I don't know, or people should No, you need to do some research and find out what will convert and what will convince people. And yeah, this is in the end what it's about.
So, Jan, by what metrics are you judging the success of your proposal? And by extension, by what metrics can the rest of us judge whether you're succeeding or failing over time?
Yeah, yeah. I think the first success was that we got ourselves a room to talk to each other and discuss. I think that to measure the real success of that proposal, it will take some time, and we need to see what the outcome will be, what the activities will be, and I hope that the Masternode network will not what's the right word in English for that? Maybe decline. I'm not sure. Decline the upcoming efforts out of that, but let's say give it a try in whatever kind of market it is. And by give it a try, I mean that we, no matter if it's Venezuela or the US or Germany or Asia or Africa, I'm pretty sure that we need to use some of the money out of the treasury for marketing activities. Because without doing that, we might just disappear. Because the success of a project is not only related to the tech. You can have the greatest tech in the world, when no one is aware of that, then no one uses this. So but yeah, right now, to answer your question more directly, Amanda, I can't really tell. I think the first success was that the teams got together, and I hope that we will have additional meetings in future, and we all agreed on that. And yeah, that we stay in touch and help each other out in a better and closer way than we did before. And I think the measurable results will be the outcome of all that. Maybe the measurable result is this strategy document that we're working on at the moment. So where people can take a look at that and see, okay, this is done, and even leave a comment or reach out to me or us. In Discord, or by sending an email. The email is on the website. You can just reach out and leave a comment or leave a feedback. Because yes, there is already value in the strategy paper, but of course it's hard to measure that.
I like what you were saying earlier about how if you don't market your strategy or market your project, you'll die. And that there is some sense to that, because people are not going to use what they are not aware of. So we're dealing in the space with like hundreds and hundreds of cryptocurrencies, which of Dash is only one. So our message, how is it going to get out there? What are the challenges that we face, and how are we going to overcome them in the future?
Yeah, I think what happened to Dash is that we lost a lot. So when I joined, Dash was I think somewhere in the top 10, and now it's definitely not anymore. And in a conversation I had with an exchange, when I tried to integrate Dash into their service, they said, no, we will focus on the top coins for the beginning. And I was like, hey, but we are a top coin too. And no, we are not anymore. That's over.
No.
And then you need to ask yourself, what makes you a top coin? And is so when you guys maybe later take a look at the document, you can see, of course, and everyone knows that, but we have it in numbers now. You can see a correlation among a market cap, tweets, followers, and all that stuff. And now you need to find out, okay, what creates or which metric is following the other one. Is the price the one, and then awareness grows, or is it the other way around and the price follows the awareness? I guess no one can tell that, because the market is is a weirdo anyway. But we need to find out what we can do. So if you take a look at leading figures in crypto projects and the followership of the project itself, it's pretty easy to learn that all consumer brand related cryptos, they have leading figures, and the only one who's not having a leading figure, it's Dash. So this could be something that we should improve. Amanda, I was just wondering, how about you doing more Dash detailed stuff, for example, in future? Maybe you should become one of the leading figures, shouldn't you?
Oh, so I should make videos about Dash by myself, but not be on any teams where anybody gives me any inside information, and then I'm left looking like the idiot when things that I said were going to happen don't actually happen? Sounds good.
No. I think that might not be the right approach. Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe not then. But if I were to join your weekly meetings, I suppose that as you're talking about, Jan, we could all be more in the loop
Yeah.
rather than information being kept proprietary, and then best case scenario efforts are duplicated. Worst case scenario, you have somebody saying one thing, but what they're talking about is actually, oh, that plan was scrapped, or that plan went by the wayside, and we're all but no, I mean, that really is I've noticed that as well, Jan, what you point out, which is all the top cryptos other than Bitcoin have like a president, and Dash has no president. And so our decentralization, which it's so ironic that people will be like, Dash is centralized, and it's like, we're so the opposite of that that's why we're doing poorly in some ways, because we're so decentralized. We have one person saying one thing, and then the media will be like, the voice of Dash said this wacky thing. But then another person will give another interview to a different outlet, and it'll be like, the voice of Dash is saying this totally different thing. That's great for censorship resistance, but for branding, that's just a nightmare. Is this an overcomable problem, Jan?
Oh, I really hope so, because it could be one of the advantages we have. So when we stay in this decentralized way and create several leading figures, and not only one, but those leading figures, they should really talk to each other, then we might be able to do to do something together that can compete with other big leading figures out there. So this is one reason why I started a YouTube channel. This is the overall YouTube channel is in fact the reason for this microphone and this more or less clean setup. And right now, this YouTube channel is doing kind of well. I'm trying to make some learnings and share these learnings with other people. So what I'm doing there is more like the crypto lifestyle stuff. It's more the funny stuff, and I have the feeling that right now out there in the positioning, there's a gap, because there's a lot about tech, there's a lot about price, there's a lot about speculation, analytics, and stuff like that. But no one is really filling the gap for using crypto and the crypto lifestyle. And I have the feeling that not me as a person, but Dash in general could jump into this gap. But we can only do that, from my perspective, if we have leading figures that are maybe also doing some jokes on the internet. So I know that that some people from the community said, "Oh, I don't like the dashy glasses from the Dash Force guys," and well, you can think about that whatever you like, but people have that in their minds now. So there was a branding effect, and I think this is we don't. I don't say that every one of us should wear dashy glasses now, but I think we can do a lot to improve awareness and visibility, and maybe even bring some fun into the crypto space and make crypto something that you can live and not only speculate on and trade on and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like the lifestyle behind it.
Yeah, exactly. and about you can do crypto jokes. I mean, I have one for you, and honestly
Uh-oh.
speaking, I prepared it, of course. So
Oh, I didn't realize you were going to have a comedy routine on this show.
And I've heard that Germans are super funny, so I'm excited.
Nice.
no, I'm afraid, and I don't want to do a joke anymore, Amanda. Why did you
Please,
accept that?
please, I beg of you.
Okay. How does a Bitcoin maximalist reacts when you ask whatever?
How?
Have you seen that?
What was it? I'm sorry, I missed it. There's a box and it opened. What?
Okay, my finger is the question. This is the Bitcoin maximalist. Wait.
Oh. They
Nothing
turn it
really
off. They
happened.
shut it down.
Yeah, you got it. Maybe it's not funny, but I like the box. I really like that box.
Can we please get a
German
treasury
joke.
proposal to buy all of us those boxes so that we can all tell those
Yeah,
jokes
but
at parties?
I don't have affiliate links. That's sad. Sorry. And we are live, right? So I wanted to
Yes.
test that with you guys. And if you don't think that's funny, then maybe we can cut that out because all the maxis will hate me after that. No? Not.
We could
Well,
only
we
hope
can't on
that a
live, but we can do
maxi
it afterwards.
actually watches this show, guys. Let's not flatter ourselves.
Mhm.
That might be the case too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's all that you've told me everything that I was curious about, Jan. Was there anything else from you, Tao?
Yeah, if you're just joining us to the show, we're talking with Jan Heinrich Meyer from Dash Embassy DACH. He's leading up the new Dash marketing initiative. So we're quite happy to have Jan on the show today.
Wait. I need to interrupt here. I'm not leading
Okay.
a new marketing initiative for Dash. I reached out to other people to work on this together. This is important. I'm not a single leader of any marketing activities. So I just hope that people will collaborate, and it's happening right now.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about what we were just talking about. Like, how do independent content creators such as myself or Amanda, like how do we get involved in
I'm
this
not an independent
marketing
content creator. Hello.
Well, you have been in the past, and you might be in the future, but as you're not right now. But yeah, so how do we get involved in these efforts?
Oh, what everyone can do right now is to take a look at the strategy paper I'm working on, or we're working on, and reach out, learn from that, and share your thoughts and opinions on that to create it together. I know strategy is a lot more boring than doing things, and when you do some things, then you can learn a lot more about whatever it is, right? And but before, you need to do this strategy stuff. And I guess that some people might have thought, okay, we have this Dash co-working marketing proposal out there, so it's February, and in April something amazing will happen. Yeah, that's not the case. I wrote in the proposal that creating a strategy is annoying and will destroy your nerves when you're working on that, and you get a lot of feedback and you need to discuss things. But yes, this is the boring road that we need to walk down right now. And I hope that until the end of April, we will be able to finish the strategy document. But of course, it depends on the people that are helping to create this. So if I need to create all this all by myself, then it might take longer. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe when 5 people working on that, it will even take longer. I'm not sure about that yet. But yeah, I think that the end of April will be realistic.
You could be onto something there, Jan. I have to say, during the diff meeting last week, when it was just Hytham and me, we finished in about half the time that diff meetings usually take when it's all 6 of us. So maybe don't worry about doing it all by yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so people don't reach out to me. Don't. Well, please reach out and give us some feedback. But yeah, Amanda, you're absolutely right, and you can see the exact same behavior in a regular company when you compare it to a decentralized and whatever organization, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So centralization and management is always more efficient and faster. But on the other hand, it's centralized. And I think there's something in between. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's going to be the struggle, I think, for cryptocurrency, is trying to find that happy medium between centralization and decentralization for each use case that you try to do in cryptocurrency.
It's the problem for Dash. I doubt that Bitcoin Cash has the same issue. Right.
Yeah, maybe not.
And
yeah.
when you take a look at the listings at crypto payment service providers and stuff like that, then just from a payment perspective, Bitcoin Cash would be our closest competitor. And then when you take a look at the market cap, shit, that's not a competitor anymore. They already outperformed us. So maybe centralization was the key there. I'm not sure.
Okay, so I just have one final question before we head out. We recently did an interview. It was like an episode with Simon Sinek. It was a TED Talk that he did about starting with the why message in marketing. So the why message is, why does your corporation or entity exist? What's your purpose? And based on, and also there's like a how and what message saying what it is and how you do it. But these messages aren't exactly that convincing to people. It's the why message that actually biologically is more convincing to people. So are you taking this strategy into account with your marketing efforts?
I think that's common sense to use tools like that. So there are several tools to solve a problem in a marketing perspective. You can ask yourself why. You can ask yourself, which problems can we solve? So you can ask a lot, right? And you can create positioning crossings and all that. And this is exactly what we're doing right now. So, but the second point in the strategy document, in fact, after the product overview of Dash, which is very short, the second point is the purpose, of course.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for being our first guest, Jan. And yeah, we'll maybe hear an update from you in the future. That might be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it might make sense to invite people to read the document, and maybe I should just set up a live call or live chat or join one. I think, and back in the days, we had this rooms in the Discords on Dash Nation. There was always a room for voice chatting, and I have been there for some time because I'm working in the office all day and I'm alone, and I want to hear some other people talking. That's why I joined those voice chat, but no one was around, so I was still lonely. And but maybe I should do something like that to get some feedback and to explain what we're working on right now a bit more detailed than I can do it in this call. Yeah.
All right, before we go, I just want to give out a couple of shout outs to people that are watching right now. We got Dash Bus Tour, who is Dash Farms, Blake from Dash Farms. So good to have you here. Scott Stryker's here. Who else? One more person. Let's see. And Daniel from Floix. I did a thing about the social media outlets, and Floix was one of them. And I've been getting a lot of support from that network. So if you're watching the show and you're looking for a new place to hang out, I'd highly recommend Floix. So we were talking today with Heinrich Meyer from Dash Embassy DACH. How do people get in touch with you if they want to talk to you about this marketing effort?
You can reach me on Discord with @Ezra, ESSRA, and can send me an email. You can find the address on our website. It's dash-embassy.org, or simply. No, I will not pronounce my name right now because I guess that's too difficult. But just ping me on one of the Discords. I'm available almost everywhere. I think you can also reach out to me in the forum, and I hope that I will receive a notification. I'm not around on the forum a lot, but yes, I think that's it. You can also give me a phone call because the number is on the website. So if you want to call, yeah.
It's so true. He answers his phone. I can attest to that. All right, guys.
Wow.
Let's close.
That's it for us today. That was Tao and Amanda live. Hopefully we'll be doing some more episodes about this soon, and any other topics that we choose to discuss. So thanks very much for hanging out with us today. All the best. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.